Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to our mindfulness practice. Welcome to our practice. Today is the 1 hour practice. So the format is we spend about 10 minutes just chatting. I always try and be a little more casual, less teachery on Saturday mornings. And try to be a little bit more chatty. It still gives some intro as to what we're doing, so I'll get into that here shortly. In fact, I'll get into that right now. So today's practice is the scan. It's the body scan. The body scan is we systematically work our attention, our awareness through the body, and spend a little bit of time focusing on each part of the body, and that gives us a little more ability to tune into the body and what we're feeling at any given moment. And so, why is this useful? Well, it links into what we've been doing, which is the open awareness practice, in that one of the foundational pieces of open awareness practice is to be aware of what's going on in the body at any given moment. So that if we just pause at any moment and observe the body, that something maybe comes out and is the most obvious thing, that our attention, even though it's wide, it does have, usually there's one thing that becomes more obvious, and that tends to be different all the time. And it might not. I mean, maybe we try to reset our attention, wipe the slate clean. Okay, what's coming up now? What's the most prominent thing in my awareness? So whatever that happens to be. And so the linkage here is that the more that we spend time doing body scan, the easier it is to tune into the body. And so therefore, once we move into that open awareness kind of practice, it might be easier for us to notice some of the more subtle sensations that if we hadn't been practicing body scan so regularly, so intensely, maybe we wouldn't be able to notice that sensation. And so furthermore, to go just one more step farther here, is that bodily sensations are the key to unlocking awareness of emotions, in that our emotions manifest as physical sensations before we have cognitive awareness of those emotions. And so I mentioned earlier this week about the Iowa gambling study. It's just a way to that researchers have found that the body gives out signals before we're aware that an emotion's happening. In that case, it was nervousness. So there's 2 decks of cards. One deck has worse cards in it than the other. And when the participants were asked to draw from the loaded deck, the bad cards, the perspiration on their hands began to increase. And when asked, which deck is worse, is one deck worse than the other, the participants say, well, we're not sure. And then the point where the participant notices that the worst deck is worse, it's already their body has already been giving off signals that I'm nervous whenever I draw from the bad deck. So that's the kind of the summary of the body gives off signals, lets us know ahead of time that we're feeling some emotion. And if we can learn to tune in to those bodily signals, we can have some greater emotional awareness than before we had that. Before we've just trying to notice our emotions through awareness of the emotions themselves. So, what does your emotion feel like? And I do recall years ago, the first time that I really noticed the bodily sensations that accompany anxiety. I just remember it was a very difficult situation. but there was kind of a little joy hidden inside of my anxiety as I went, oh, this is anxiety. Now I know this feeling. Okay, this physical sensation is what accompanies anxiety, and it was a kind of like a iciness, a cold feeling. Especially a little, even a little bit of nausea in the gut. So maybe maybe it manifests differently for you, but that's just kind of a little bit of description. Yeah, Bumpy says the body is way more intelligent than the mind. I'm not so sure. The mind's pretty intelligent too. It's I mean we have a lot of neurons in the body. We have a lot of neurons. We have more neurons in any place than the more in the brain than anywhere else. So I guess the importance is to know that the body has a lot of intelligence as well, and not to discount that. Pingu says, once I was able to reap the benefits from using body scan, and my life improved. And I'm enjoying being on the learning curve. I think we all are enjoying. We're all on the learning curve anyway. Whether or not we're enjoying it might be something different. Hi, Jenny. Long time no see. Great to see you again. It's been a while. Hope all is okay with you. Jenny, I recognize Jenny's photo. Jenny is, I think, my first regular participant in this practice. So it's really nice to see you again, Jenny. One thing I wanted to say here. One thing I wanted to say before I moved on was that, and I'm trying to keep this less lecture-y and lighter, but I see I'm already getting close to the meditation time. Well, I saw the Barbie movie this week. I'm not here to do movie reviews, but it just, it's an interesting movie. And like I say, I'm not going to review the movie, but it reminded me that one of my meditation participants, one of my students from the MBSR program, who is actually a good friend also, and I remember him saying that he wouldn't have studied meditation if he didn't have a teacher that he knew and he trusted. So I felt really appreciative of that. But he also has a good sense of humor, and so he bought me this as a gift. It's a breathe with me, Barbie. I thought this was quite funny, and yeah, you could see it's like I guess Barbie does all kinds of stuff, including meditation. She's got it's like if you press her little moon here, it's like her little necklace. She does some kind of guided meditation. Again, the chest lights up too. And it's got all the I feel. It's really funny. As I was looking at this morning, I was like, oh, this reminds me of Insight Timer. It's like, how do I feel? What's the description of the thing that I feel? So I don't know. I thought that was pretty funny. That he found it in Hong Kong as well. Like, I didn't know they sell the meditation Barbie. I didn't even know that there's a meditation Barbie, but I guess it just goes to show what's the kind of funny stuff that's out there these days. Bumpy says, if you could pick a superpower, what would it be? And this is pretty interesting, because I say mindfulness is the superpower, right? Mindfulness is the superpower that we all have access to. I know it's a cop out. It feels like I'm a cop out, but I literally did say that to my dad when I started practicing mindfulness. I'm like, mindfulness is this superpower that's hidden inside of me that I didn't know that I have, and that it's something that gives me so much just access to responding skillfully in my daily life. That was huge, and it really was a superpower, because it felt like there's a different me showing up, the me that's that's here for my family, the me that's here for just everything in life. I mean, that's what's interesting, and it does kind of go back to body scan was the foundational practice. As I learned more about how my body responds and reacts in different situations, that awareness, and I always kind of told my dad too that there's this is me, and then there's this monitoring version of me, right? And this monitoring version of me was very small and it's very tiny, and mindfulness helped to bring that version of me to give it a lot more power, and that became my superpower, was to see myself and to not be stuck on my videotape of life, where I feel like I'm just a passive observer, that I don't have any control of what's going on, and that I just have to watch as I do stupid things all the time. And mindfulness really kind of unlocked that superpower for me. So I don't know if that's super satisfying to hear. Maybe you're looking for like flying or shape shifting, or something like that. But this is the one that we all have access to. Every human being has access to this superpower. All you have to do is practice. Speaking of practice, let's start our practice. So today we're doing the body scan. So welcome everybody. So get yourself comfortable. So as for me, I'm going to be sitting up straight and tall. In this posture, I can continue to project my voice. As for you, maybe you choose to lie down today. Or maybe you're feeling really sleepy and you know that sitting would be more useful for you. So I would encourage you to choose a posture that can maintain some alertness but also be relaxed. And if you're really looking for relaxation today and you don't mind drifting off to sleep, well, maybe lying down is the right posture for you. If you'd rather fully engage with the practice, choose a posture that's going to help you remain alert. If you do choose lying down and you find yourself drifting off, you can always look at a light above you. If you've got some lights on in your room, use the light to help to keep you awake. If you've chosen to lie down, allowing the feet to gently fall away from each other with the legs slightly spread apart, arms alongside the body but not touching the body, palms open toward the ceiling, maybe placing a pillow behind the head to protect you from the hardness of the floor or the mat, kind of help as well keep the spine aligned so we don't have any neck pain as we go on. The encouragement here for this practice and most practices is to keep the body still for the duration of the practice. You may have some urge to wiggle your fingers. See if you can resist those urges. See if you can let your body just be how it is without needing to activate the mind in any way. And movement requires some conscious engagement with the body. So letting go of conscious movement and letting the body simply be as it is. You also may want to have a blanket, as lying still for 40 minutes can be cooling. If you like, allowing the eyes to close. And noticing that your body is touching something. Now, we're not free falling, we're not floating. I mean, maybe if you have some kind of magical practice, you're floating right now, but for the majority of us, we're all sitting or lying on something. So what does that feel like? Where can you feel your body in contact with that supporting surface? Can you feel your buttocks against the cushion? If you're lying down, maybe you can feel the back of the head in contact with the pillow. Maybe parts of the neck and shoulders. Noticing the shoulder blades in contact with the mat or the bed or the carpet, whatever it is you're lying on. The elbows, the backs of the hands, the buttocks, parts of the legs, the heels. Just feeling Earth's gravity pulling down on you and the supporting surface as it pushes back. Maybe you have a blanket on top of you, feeling the weight of the blanket. Briefly noticing the entire body, the sensations you're feeling, what sensations are more prominent. What about subtle sensations? What do you notice as you open awareness to the body as a whole? And now taking that wide lens of awareness and narrowing the focus. Maybe imagining that your awareness is a flashlight or a spotlight shining on your belly. Noticing the abdominal region as it moves with the breath. Expansion, followed by contraction, followed by expansion, followed by contraction as you breathe. So not forcing the breath to be any particular way, not trying to elongate the breath. Just letting the breath be exactly the way it is. And on the next exhalation, letting go of the belly. And taking that flashlight, taking that spotlight and bringing it towards the left hip and down the left leg. All the way down the left leg until you reach the left foot. All the way out to the end of the left foot, reaching the toes of the left foot. Can you be aware of each of the toes of the left foot? Can you be aware of what sensations you're feeling? Maybe tingling or itching or dryness. Maybe there's some perspiration. Maybe when you tune into your left toes, you can't feel anything. There's no need to wiggle the toes to try and create sensations. Just tuning in as best you can into what's here already. Expanding awareness now to the sole of the left foot, to the left heel, to the top of the left foot, to the left ankle, the whole of the left foot. Center stage in awareness. What do I feel here? What normal, natural physical sensations are present in my left foot? And exhaling, letting go of the left foot. As we draw our attention up to the left lower leg, noticing the shin, the calf muscle, the sides of the lower leg, pressure we may feel here, blood flowing, whatever is present for you in the left lower leg. Holding attention there for a few moments and observing what comes up. On the next exhale, letting go of the left lower leg, and bringing your attention to the left knee. The kneecap, the back of the knee, the sides of the knee. Shining that spotlight down on the left knee. Whatever is here. Even if that includes discomfort. Welcoming whatever it is you're experiencing right now. On the next exhale, letting go of the left knee as we guide attention to the left thigh. The thigh bone, the quadriceps, the hamstrings, the inner thigh, the outer thigh, fully aware of the left thigh. And on the next exhale, releasing the left thigh from awareness. So concentrating attention now on the left hip, crossing through the pelvis over to the right hip and taking that spotlight of awareness down the right leg, all the way to the right foot, all the way to the toes of the right foot. Noticing the big toe, the little toe, each of the toes in between, as best you can. Expanding awareness to the sole of the right foot, the heel, the ankle, the top of the right foot, as we feature in center stage the entirety of the right foot. And on the next exhale, releasing the right foot from awareness as we guide attention to the right lower leg, the shin bone, the calf muscle, the sides of the right lower leg, inside and outside. What are we experiencing here now? If thoughts come up while you're doing this practice, just realizing that that's a distraction right now. Acknowledging that thought has come as best we can, releasing it through that awareness that it's come, and then refocusing attention back to wherever we happen to have been. And in this case, it's the right lower leg. And on the exhale, releasing the right lower leg as we guide attention to the right knee, the kneecap, the back of the knee, the sides of the knee, featuring the right knee center stage in awareness. And as we exhale next, releasing the right knee as we guide attention into the right thigh. The quadriceps, the hamstrings, the thigh bone. From knee to hip, being completely aware of the physical sensations in the right thigh. And on the next exhale, releasing the right thigh from awareness. Bringing attention to the pelvis, starting at the right hip. Noticing the right buttock, the tailbone, the left buttock, the left hip, the front of the pelvis, including the genitals, also including the perineum, the anus, holding the entirety of the pelvis in awareness. What sensations do you have here in the present moment, including the pressure between your buttocks and the supporting surface? On the next exhale, releasing the pelvis from awareness. As we guide attention into the lower back, so starting at the tailbone and slowly working up the spinal column, up the vertebrae, becoming aware of the muscles in the lower back. Maybe feelings of the lower back expanding and contracting with the breath. Continuing to move up the vertebrae into the mid-back. Noticing where the ribs are coming off of the vertebrae, starting with those floating ribs, and then the ribs that are coming around to the front of the body. As we continue into the upper back, noticing the muscles between the shoulder blades themselves, so now holding the entirety of the back body in awareness. On the next exhale, releasing the back body, coming around to the front of the body, back to the abdomen. Feeling the movement of the abdomen with the breath. Noticing the digestive organs. And then releasing the abdomen from awareness. As we move our attention upwards to the rib cage, the sternum, the lungs. Maybe you can feel your heart beating inside your chest. including as well now the sides of the body. On the next exhale, releasing the chest from awareness. And bringing that spotlight over to the left hand. Noticing the fingers of the left hand. The palm of the hand. The back of the hand. The wrist. The left forearm. The left elbow. The left upper arm. The left shoulder. The left armpit. From fingertips to the shoulder, holding the entirety of the left arm in awareness. On the next exhale, releasing the left arm. As we guide our attention over to the right side, down all the way to the right hand, to the fingers of the right hand, to the palm of the right hand, the back of the right hand, the right wrist, the right forearm, the right elbow, the right upper arm, the right shoulder, the right armpit. And now, holding everything from the right shoulder all the way down to the fingertips of the right hand. What do I experience here? What can I feel? On the next exhale, releasing the right arm from awareness. As we bring attention into the neck, the back of the neck, the vertebrae coming up, landing in the base of the skull, the front of the neck, the softer tissue, the blood vessels, the throat, the larynx, the skin, holding the left neck, holding the entirety of the neck and throat in awareness. The left side of the neck, the right side of the neck, the front, the back. On your next exhale, releasing the neck from awareness. Guiding attention up to the jaw, the chin. What do you feel here in the jaw? You feel your lower teeth, your upper teeth, the gums, the mouth, the tongue, the cheeks, the ears. The nose, air moving through the nostrils, the eyes and the muscles around the eyes, the eyebrows, the forehead, and on the next exhale, releasing the face from awareness. As we guide attention to the scalp, the crown of the head, the back of the head, the skull, just holding the head in awareness for a few moments. And then on the next exhale, releasing the head from awareness. As we expand awareness to the entirety of the body. The head, the face, the neck, the shoulders, the arms, the hands, the chest, the abdomen, the upper back, the mid-back, the lower back, the pelvis, the thighs, the knees, the lower legs, the ankles and the feet. Holding the entirety of the body in awareness. Opening to the body. Becoming aware of what sensations become prominent. Seeing as maybe they fall away. New sensations become more prominent. So with that spotlight, that flashlight of attention expanded outwards to observe all sensations in the body, what is it that you experience? And as you experience it, can you let go and observe again what comes up, what arrives in the center stage in your awareness. So we'll spend the remainder of the practice in silence, observing the body. Congratulations, everyone. You've made it through today's practice. I'll close this practice with 3 rings of the bell. All right. Well done. Thanks, everyone, and thanks for joining in this practice, and thank yourself for having made it here today, as this practice helps you to learn to be more in touch with your body and your bodily sensations, and maybe how those bodily sensations link with emotions. Although I have to say, for me today, mostly I'm just tuning into bodily sensations. So, how'd it go today? What showed up for you? Thanks for sharing, Siffy. I'm sorry to hear that the chemo's been rough. I wish you good health and peaceful recovery. Bumpy says, do you have a golden tip on how to find and do more of what makes you happy and do less of what makes you unhappy? Well, I mean, yeah, no, not really. No golden tip on that. I mean, I think everybody knows how I'll answer this question. Is the first thing you have to do is really know, what does happiness feel like in your body, so you know what it is that, what is happiness. And the other thing, I suppose, maybe this is even a better answer, is to try to live with equanimity, to know that happiness isn't something that's going to happen 100% of the time, and sometimes chasing happiness is what causes happiness to be farther away, and that there's a lot of power and acceptance as to how things are. And I think acceptance itself can, as well as the other 8 attitudes of MBSR, are really keys to happiness. And I think that's how MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction, was founded and created, was for pain, chronic pain sufferers. So if you suffered from chronic pain, you could be a candidate for MBSR back in 1979, and that's really what happened was that some people, their pain went away, but the majority of cases were that people's relationship with their pain changed. And instead of hating their pain, embracing against their pain, and constantly wanting their pain to go away and allowing their pain to be what made them unhappy, to accept, this is my body, this is what my body is like, this is the situation that I'm in. And through that kind of acceptance, we can be happier. And, happiness is like if you think of happiness like a roller coaster ride, right? I'm so happy when I'm on the roller coaster. It's exciting. It's fun. It's, but I've got all of this time anticipating, waiting for the roller coaster to start as I'm in line. And then when it's over, you go, oh man, what a great ride. But it's over now. There's suffering possibly in that anticipation. There's suffering possibly in that clinging and wishing that it weren't over. In that reflection. It's possible to reflect and be happy, but there's also a part of us that goes, well, I wish I was on that all the time. And then we get to this adaptation where if you're on the roller coaster, if somehow you manage to be on a roller coaster all the time, then that too becomes, our body adapts, our mind, our brain adapts, and suddenly that isn't exciting, and we need something more exciting. So I think chasing happiness is a surefire way to be unhappy. Thanks for your question. And that's really not a golden tip as to how to find what makes you happy, but I hope it was satisfactory. Thanks Thanks everyone for practicing together. Thanks Cece. Thanks Jenny. Jean shares, today my mind had a field day distracting me from the object of my meditation. The last few days I've had a difficult time staying present, even during meditation, or maybe especially during meditation. Thanks Jean for sharing. And yes, Dirk shares about his chemo and recovery. So know, Siffy, that you are not alone. That we're a good little supportive group to meditate together and to help each other as best we can. So keep it up. I've got my hungry meditation assistant here. Like ready. He's ready for food, right, Frank? Yeah, that's good. Look at the camera. Look at the camera, Frank. All right. Get going soon. It's nice to see you all. Thanks for sharing this time. And yeah, I guess, Breathe With Me Barbie. Another reason I wanted to show Breathe With Me Barbie is that this thing, it's I hang on to it. I know, obviously I don't open the packaging. I'm kind of one of those collector nerds that don't, I've got a few little things that don't have the packaging, but unfortunately when I don't open the packaging, it means Barbie's hair is kind of like perpetually messy. But as a teacher, sometimes I need things to remind me of why I teach and what keeps me going, and part of that is having participants and students whose lives are positively impacted. And this reminds me of the student that bought that for me. I know he bought it as a joke, but it does kind of remind me of the variety and the wide array of people. Maybe that's not everyone's sense of humor, but I do appreciate getting something like that and kind of reminding me why I do this. Siffy shares, I feel calm and easy. Been so difficult, but I'm really grateful for mindfulness practice. Thanks so much. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, and using anchors to help remember why we practice. Sometimes a physical anchor, seeing something, can be a good reminder. So, yeah, I appreciate you all. It's great to see you back, Siffy, and I wish you the best. And Jenny, it's good to see you. It's great to have everybody here. Let's see. These practices, it's a good time for me to share. These practices are recorded. You can get them, you can see the replays on YouTube after I upload them. Ryan Grimes Mindful, just like the handle I have on most places. Ryan Grimes Mindful is where you can find me. Join Ryan's Daily Mindfulness Circle. Jean leads daily practice, daily meditations on the days that I'm off. So you can join in those group meditations there. Ryan's Daily Mindfulness Circle is also a great place for sharing and reflection. If you any questions that you write, I might not be able to get to them immediately, but I'll do my best to answer whatever or share whatever's there. All right. We'll be back on Tuesday. So continuing with open awareness, we're going to move into the awareness of sounds. So we've kind of completed awareness of body. Well, not that it's ever really complete, but we've completed this stage. We're going to move into awareness of sounds, and then awareness of thoughts, and then we'll bring it all together at the end of the week. So let's close practice the way that we close practice. Man, it's so great. I see Ren. I think that's Claudia. Yes. And I see a bunch of new faces, so it's great to have you here. I do hope to see you again soon. Hello, Gail in San Diego. All right, let's send our well wishes out, starting with ourselves. May I be happy and peaceful. May everyone watching, listening, wherever you are, I wish you all happiness and peace. May all human beings, great or small, rich or poor, in sickness or in health, may we all be happy and peaceful. All right. Thank you, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.